Clearing a sample is not exactly the easiest thing to do, but I got 6 steps to help you out. Find out next coming up on the Music Money Makeover Show. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Music Money Makeover Show. My name is Casey Graham. This is season 2, episode 7. Yes, 7 episodes in, man. It's been quite a run on this season. I think it's been my best season yet. Thank you to everybody who's been watching. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe below, like, and comment as well, okay? So today is about clearing samples, and I got a bonus, infringement, because you all asked for a little bit more on infringement, but I figured let's bundle in sampling and infringement together. So this episode is about that. Now, clearing samples is not exactly the easiest thing to do if you're a beginner at this. If you don't really understand copyright, this job isn't for you. This is mainly for those intermediate, advanced level publishers and record label owners or producers and artists who want to clear things themselves. And if they can't possibly do it, I've got some people within this show that can help you get that done. All right? So let's dig in, as always, into how to clear a sample. But first, we're starting with infringement. Now, to set the basis for an infringement case or situation, we're going to start with the plaintiff and we're going to have the defendant. Okay, so the plaintiff is going to be the person that owns the copyright, and then the defendant is going to be the person who actually infringed or sampled and didn't clear. Okay, so I just want to keep that clear so you can focus on these things. All right, so in order to prove infringement actually happened, the plaintiff has to prove or show proof that not only do they own the work, but that the work was infringed by improper appropriation. What in the world does improper appropriation mean? So I'm going to dig into that, but let me address the first one first. You got to show proof of ownership if someone sampled or infringed on your copyright, okay? You have to show that they either directly mechanically copied, I mean they recorded it in their sampler and they chopped it up, they looped it up, and then they made a new recording out of it. And you also have to show that they might have had your recording or your song, your lyric and melody in mind. Now, that technically means a interpolation. So now, number 2, what in the world is improper appropriation? Now, if it's an improper appropriation, then that means that some of the elements copied on the inside are copywritten. Now, I know that's a little confusing, but let's say they might have not only copywritten the song, they might have copywritten the snare. Some people go that far. Let's say it's Michael Jackson's Billie Jean. But that beginning sound, that's a popular sample right there, all right? And if you copy bits of that, or you just took the snare and that kick, that snare is so recognizable to someone who knows music well that they can say, oh, that came from Michael Jackson's record, right? That's copying the bits and pieces of stuff. Like, oh, they pulled from that, all right? So this is where that blurred lines thing comes in again, okay? And then on the other half, they have to, well, the jury or the audience will have to find that the two works are similar, pretty similar, by just a natural ear, not a defined, detailed ear. They have to find that they're right on target with each other. That's improper appropriation. Bits and pieces and almost identical, not quite, all right? Now, if you sample bits and pieces or it's almost identical in its arrangement, that has to deal with the publishers. The publishers can sue you for that. If you copy bits and pieces of the recording, then the record label can sue you for that as well, all right? So you can get sued twice, for that. But if you take if you take the melody of it, the sequence of the original work, and put it in yours, then the publishers can sue you for infringement, all right? So let me give you an example of this. Let's say I love there's a lot of 808 renditions of songs on the internet. There's ones loose ends hanging on a string, right? There also is, let's just take Marvin Gaye since we're talking about blurred lines. There's a guy on YouTube. I'm gonna play a clip and I'm gonna put it right over here. Boop. We'll put it right here and we're gonna play it, okay? So take a listen. Now, this is Sexual Healing, but it is exactly the same on an 808 machine using the exact same sounds. Therefore, it's using the melody arrangement of the actual song. If I was to do this and put this in a song, I could get sued by the publisher. Even though I didn't sample and I recreated it, I could get sued by the publisher because I recreated the actual arrangement of the song. That's called an interpolation. I didn't technically sample the recording, but I remade it. And you still have to pay for that, okay? So how do we clear this stuff? Or how do we combat all of this, right? We have to clear the sample. So let's do that. Let's start with the first 6 steps. Well, the only 6 steps I have listed here. Now, the 6 steps that you need to clear a sample are: understand the rights involved, know the music you want to license, develop a strategy to license, address the fears of the copyright owner, express your intended use to the owner. Finally, number 6, allow enough time for the process to finish and complete. Okay? Now, people always slip on that last one. I mean, look, these steps, when I go through them, you'll understand they're not exactly that easy, right? But I'm going to give you everything you need to know about it, so don't you sweat, okay? So you have to allow time for all this stuff to process. It's going to take quite some time, and as I said in the introduction of this video, that it's not exactly for the beginner to clear samples, okay? So let's dig into number 1. Number 1, understanding the rights involved with clearing the sample. Now, you have to go to the record label to clear the sample, and you also have to go to the publisher, okay? So now, let's have an example here. I've got a record I just pulled off my shelf. You didn't see in the edit. It was there if it's not. Anyway, it's here. I'm using Whitney Houston, all right? I love this cover. I love everything about it. Got a little grease stain over here so you can see it's been used. All right, who is the record label? As you can see, Arista Records is the record label. And I want to sample a song by, let's just use Saving All My Love. All right, so Saving All My Love was written by Michael Masser and Jerry Goffin, okay? So Prince Street Music will be one publisher, and Screen Gems EMI Music, EMI Incorporated is the other publisher, all right? So they probably own, I don't know who's publishing they will own, but they own that. So now I have to go and call up Arista Records right here, all right? And then I have to, have to call up Arista Records, or they folded into, I believe Arista went into the Sony system? I'm not sure. But I would have to contact them, and then I would have to say, hey, I want to sample a record. They say, cool, let's get into it. And then I also would have to contact ASCAP to find Prince Street Music and contact Prince Street Music. And then I also have to contact EMI Incorporated, all right? Even though they're not really functional like that, they still hold catalog, and so therefore you have to contact them, all right? That's how you clear a sample. That's the starting 2 pieces. Now, step 2, knowing the music that you sampled, all right? This is a key part, and this will help you. So what do I mean by this? I mean that you need to know where in the song you sampled, what is the context that you used the sample as. Did you use lyrics from the song while you sampled it as well, or did you not? Okay? Did you only use the drums in the song? Will you make some type of remix to the work in the song? All this is necessary when you get the publisher and the record label on the phone, okay? So they want to know, what did you do in the use of the sample? And context is a very important thing. So let's say you have a song that you sampled and it doesn't follow the same context. It's not a love song, but you make it a strip club song, right? But originally it was a classy love song. You flip it and you make it a strip club song. They may not want that, the original publisher. That might not be what the artist at that time intended, And they want to keep it that way. They want to keep it classy. They don't want to associate themselves with that type of market. All right. Same could be said for maybe an R&B artist, and you go and you do a disco remix or an EDM remix. They might not want to be associated with that. Okay. Context plays big when it comes to clearing samples. Let's go into number 3. Develop a strategy to license. Okay. Now, if you're going to do it yourself, that's great. Then you may have experience at doing this. And if you've gotten this far without me expressing it in the video, then you probably will be all right with clearing this stuff yourself. You'll know the ins and outs of what you need to negotiate on. And by the way, we haven't even gotten into negotiating money and points and royalties and all that. We're just talking about getting access to the people that we need to clear the sample. So if you know all of that and you're okay with doing it yourself, then do it yourself. If you're not, here's point number 2. Don't do it yourself. All right? Go and get a clearance expert. Get an attorney or a publisher or somebody who knows about publishing to clear it for you. I'll suggest DMG Clearances. I will market these guys. I'll put them there. All right. Started by I forgot Deborah's last name, but a lady named Deborah owns DMG Clearances. She started in 1996 clearing samples because sampling became out of hand. There was a need, and that's what she specializes in to this day. She's one of the best to ever do it independently outside of a major label system. Okay, so that's what you have to decide. Are you going to do it yourself, or are you going to hire someone to do it? It can get expensive when you have to hire someone to do it, but if you don't know how to do it, I don't recommend you trying on your own with something that is of the essence of time to get out. All right, let's jump into number 4. Number 4 is addressing the fears of the copyright owner. This is a big deal, all right? If we're on the phone and we're talking to the publisher or an indie publisher of a hit song from the 1970s, then they're going to have a couple fears. And the top 3 fears that they will have are fear of making a bad deal, okay? This is one of the biggest deals. So this is one of the biggest fears. Fear of making a bad deal. They're going to have fear of piracy. They're also going to have the fear of getting sued. All right. So how does this play into it? Because we're getting deeper and deeper. And I know you're like, oh man, I didn't even know it was going to get that crazy. This is what, as creators, what you give the business people in the industry. You hand these tasks over to them so they handle it. Okay. So fear of making a bad deal. Why would you fear making a bad deal? You're probably thinking to yourself, like, I'm going to make you more money. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. And I'll pay you your sample clearance fee. But that's not what they're thinking about. So let's say you're new or you're a major artist. All right. They may know you from a can of paint. They might not know you from a can of paint. But their fear is, how big will this project be? Will it be successful? Will it be a hit record? Will it be a hit album? How will this pan for them? All right. And then they want to get as much as they can, but they also want to make sure the context is right. And they also don't want to run you away, because if they want it, they want to make sure that the deal is right. That's the fear of making a bad deal. Now, I'll add this one note. This is one thing I learned from Knife Wonder, that if you really want to get a sample cleared, it also helps to write a handwritten letter to the artists and the publishers themselves expressing why you want to clear it and or thanking them for clearing it. That way that builds a relationship with you and the actual creators and writers of the older works. You get to create relationships with the greats, all right? There's nothing wrong with expanding your network that way, and it's a nice gesture, all right? So, let's continue on. Piracy. Piracy is a huge thing, and the fear of it is, number 1, in what territory will the song be released, okay? Will you try to skimp on the deal and release it elsewhere on another platform other than the standards? And then also, are you only going to utilize their sample in your song for promotional purposes? This is a big thing. They got a lot of new artists making the so-called mixtape album or the free album and putting it out on sites like, DatPiff and live mixtapes and all of that, right? When you do something for promotion, you're gaining value. It cannot be computed, because as you build up, it's going to gain over time, and they can't calculate that. And so if that's going to be the usage, they may not clear it. because they can't get something from you other than the upfront check that you're going to pay. They can't get any back-end royalties. They can't get anything. So that's another fear of making a bad deal, the piracy. Like, if people are going to steal it, how can we calculate that? Or if they're going to get it for free, how can we calculate that? So they're thinking about that as well. All right? Third point. Third point is the fear of getting sued. All right? And if someone gets sued, then more than likely they're getting sued from past contractual obligations that they might have forgotten about. They might have lost the contract from the 1970s, 60s, and somebody has it, right? It may be past relationships involved with the song that have gone sour since then, and they don't talk to each other, and they clear it and don't get clearance from the other person. They may get sued. So all of these things, and a lot of times it's not you. All of these factors play into clearing a sample. So you have to consider these. That's why you leave it up to the publishers and the clearance directors or clearance parties who will clear these samples for you. It's a lot of work put into getting samples cleared, all right? So that's why I said in the beginning, you're going to want to allow time to do this, all right? Let's go into the next step. Express your intended use to the copyright owner, all right? Big thing, okay? And there's a list of questions that you want to be prepared for. So here it goes. What is the nature of the work that the music will be used in? How will the music be rendered in the work? What does render mean? How will it be sampled in the work? How is it chopped, screwed, flipped, diced, whatever it is you did? How is it used? Is it defamatory? Is it promoting them? Is it, how did you use it? That boils down to context, as I was saying earlier. Will the music be featured prominently or in the background of the song? All right? How are you using this? Is it a main key point? Did you only sample a drum loop out of the break somewhere near the end of the record? How did you use it? And it boils back down to context again. Will the music compromise all or any part of the work? Did you intend to use other songs with the work? Will you use non-musical attributes from the song, meaning its artwork or its video? When you shoot your video, are you planning to use more from that song than just the sample? These things matter. That's intellectual property as well. Will the lyrics be changed or edited? All right, will you use their lyrics and will you flip them like a parody, or will you make mockery of the lyrics? They want to know that. Will the title of the song be used in any special way? Will the work be a dramatic adaptation of the lyrics? Now, this means that you're going to not only perform it, but you're going to give a dramatized, exaggerated version of it. Because if you're going to take a piece of the lyrics, that means you're going to stretch it, you're going to build upon it, and you're not only going to do that, you're going to shoot a video, and it's exaggerating the lyrics, basically. All right? Will the song be performed dramatically? It's another question. In what markets, here we go, in what markets will the song be distributed? Big question, big question. Will the song be used to promote a product? Another big question. Another big question. Are you making this song to promote something? If it's a love song, are you promoting this for 1-800-Flowers or Godiva Chocolates or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you? Will it be used in a product form or used for promotion of a product? Will the song be made part of a product? Another question. All right. All of this boils down to the entire context of the song. All right. So look, hey, we got one more point. We're almost out of here. Allow time to complete the process. As you can see, I listed a lot of information. That's why I didn't say how to clear a sample in 6 easy steps, 6 simple steps, anything like that. I didn't say it. It's not easy to clear a sample and it takes time. All right. So you got to be patient. You got to know your stuff. And when it comes time to negotiate what's going to be used in the sample, oh boy, you better pull out your publishing deal and your record deal. All right. So, hey, look, that's been this episode of the show. I know it's been a lot of requests for me to jump into publishing, and I will. And a lot of requests for me to jump into the hottest topic of the day, which is sync licensing, which I'll do that as well. All right. Those episodes are on the way, so stay tuned. Okay. But make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I know I put a lot in this video. If you have questions, drop them below. Please share. please share. I want this stuff to get out to as many people as possible. So be my team as I'm doing it as hard as I can to share, but you share as well if you found this useful, all right? Don't forget, you can download a free copy of my Profit Maximizer Checklist. It's a way to maximize your profits from the release of your music, pre and post, 90 days pre and post the release of your music. It's down in the description below. Please go and grab a free copy of that. Tell somebody else they can come grab a free copy of that. And share this information. All right? There's nothing like great, solid information that can keep you on point in this music game. Anyway, my name is Casey Graham. Thank you for watching the Music Money Makeover Show. I'll see you all next week. Don't forget to subscribe. All right? Peace.